I'm interested in reading stories of heroism about characters that are aspirational. You hit it right on the head. That's what I want as a reader. And it seems to me that that's what everybody wants, or at least the majority of the audience wants. We want to return to that because the sales just keep going lower and lower and lower. And this will get a momentary bump because they always trick the retailers, and the retailers always, to their detriment, go and I'm going to invest heavily in this and make sure I get all the variant covers. And they end up giving money to a company for product that they can't sell.
Death has been completely meaningless in comic books, not for 5 years, not for 10 years, but for like 25, 30 years. Nobody believes any of this stuff is important. Why can I not come up with anything new or exciting to really generate hype? Why do they only just kind of go back to, we'll kill a character off and then bring him back 3 weeks later?
They've run everybody off. They don't hire people who have ideas now. They just hire people who execute whatever poor idea the editorial staff comes up with and are just willing to do it because they want to, get on a character and get their activism in. It's just everything there. The Marvel is the house of idea, and it's the one idea that has been permeating forever, which is like, let's just repeat what better creators did in the past.
Now they're even bringing back like a Gwen Stacy. Talk about death is meaningless. One of two deaths that ended up being, at least at the time, thought to be permanent. They're even undoing that one with this stupid idea.
Well, wait till we get Uncle Ben Pool. That's when we know that the final nail in the coffin has been put in. He's
going to be the Watcher, right, or something stupid like that.
Something stupid like that. He'll take over for Nick Fury as the Man on the Wall or whatever. I mean, who knows? Who knows what stupid idea they can come up with? I mean, Paul is Venom. It's just nothing matters.
Is that real?
None of this matters. I haven't
seen that real.
No, I saw people talking about it, and we all think it's going to happen. But
so do I. I was going to make a video. I was like, there's nothing. There's no concrete data that says this is real.
Yeah, no, I mean, it doesn't matter anyway. None of this matters. You just kill characters, you bring them back. There's no stakes to anything. It's all hot garbage. That's all that Marvel does anymore. They don't have anybody who has any reason to go in there and actually do their best work and try to, why would you go create anything for Marvel? Yeah, just do another Deadpool variant, because you know what? You're not going to make any money creating characters for them anyway. When those, characters get spun off into a cartoon show, or, they're making action figures of them, or they're selling statues or whatever, and that character's really popular because of all the hard work that you put in. It's a question of motivation, like in Office Space. If Marvel sells another 50,000 units, I don't see another dime. So what is my incentive to go and to create anything for them when I can now? There's no gatekeeping anymore, because you can just go out and you can go direct to consumer and you can crowdfund. You can have your own book. You can do your own characters. You can own all of your own ideas. Why would you give them to a big company that's not going to appreciate you like Disney, just so that you can be on the red carpet and you can be shunned like Rob Liefeld and his family by Kevin Feige, because Kevin Feige thinks that he's the genius that put all these things together, instead of he's the guy that stood on the shoulders of giants, that had better creatives come in and work on these movie properties. And now that it's all left to his own devices, it's all falling apart. But you know what? He's better than Rob Liefeld. He shouldn't have Rob Liefeld in there, even though that's the guy that just created the characters that just gave him $1 billion movie.
So are you saying that we're in the hot garbage era of comic books? When do you think that started? Is it all new, all different?
I think so. I think all new, all different is where it started to fall apart, because I was still invested, through the end of Hickman's Secret Wars. And I thought, this is interesting what they're doing. And it's kind of crazy. And, they're going to kind of like reset, some of the things and clean up their continuity a little bit. And they didn't. Instead, they just took it as an opportunity to, lean into that ultra progressive mindset of let's replace all of our characters with new diverse characters, and everyone will just accept it because these are just mantles, really. And it turns out that's not the case. Turns out that we're actually invested in characters that we've been reading about for a long time. And, a lot of us love Falcon. We don't want to see him as Captain America. We want to see him as Falcon because that's who he is. And, they don't understand that.
Marvel Comics is preparing fans for an era-defining moment as the publisher teases the death of Thor, setting up the most monumental story arc in the character's long history with the tagline, "Even an immortal can die." While comic book readers might be rightly skeptical of death in a story arc, Marvel and author Al Ewing are promising a bold transformation for the Asgardian hero. How could this be monumental or groundbreaking when he's already died multiple times?
Yeah, remember Eric Masterson being Thor because Odinson was dead? Do you remember? But it doesn't matter because the readership that remembers that is long gone. We've all, we've all bailed. And we've all
I thought I was still here.
You're still here, but you have a channel. You have to be. You can't check out like I can and only read the stuff that you tell me I have to read for the show. I don't care what's going on in the Marvel universe anymore. Killing Thor is not interesting to me. Oh, the most monumental story ever. Yeah, but it's being told by Al Ewing, so it's not going to be. I mean, who cares?
That's a problem.
Who gives a crap about any of this? You're going to kill Thor. You're going to kill Silver Surfer. You're going to kill Nightcrawler again, and then he'll teleport out of heaven. It's like, it doesn't matter. Death is not a reason to read a Marvel comic book or a DC comic book. If you're reading a comic book like The Walking Dead, then sure, because that character's not coming back. But, how long has it been since we've had a comic book like that?
The weird thing about Al Ewing is I've never seen a writer get elevated to such a degree off of half of a good run, being Immortal Hulk, and then everyone continues for some reason to act like he's a good writer. He's not a good writer. He had one fucking fluke, Immortal Hulk, and everything else, for the most part, just sucks in grand fashion, by the way. It's always boring, trite. It's fucking meaningless. And people still act like Al Ewing is a superstar, but he was never a superstar. Greg Pak, who fucking sucks right now, is still better than Al Ewing. Ada's Hulk run is better, and people think that Al Ewing's like somebody. It's
funny. I was going to bring up Greg Pak because I was going to say, if you have one good, partially good run on Hulk, then you're a superstar forever, apparently, because Greg Pak, same way. He had an idea from his editor, Mark Panizia, and was able to execute on it. But, a lot of that has to do with the fact that Mark Panizia was there directing things as the editor, keeping things going. That led into World War Hulk, which was great. And then ever since then, Greg Pak has been a non-entity.
Yeah, but people recognize he blows donkey dicks. People are still acting like Al Ewing isn't the fucking worst.
I mean, are there people that are doing that? I mean, aside from the shills that just love everything?
Maybe it is. Maybe it's
just Marvel. It's the companies that hire him, and it's in their best interest to say that he's a superstar, because then that just looks better in the solicitation copy.
But they can't even show a picture of him because he's so fucking hideous to look at. Come on.
I have no idea what he looks like.
You don't want to know, man.
I mean, I saw Cy Spurrier. That was enough. That guy looks
Cy Spurrier looks like a goddamn Calvin Klein model compared to Al Ewing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've seen a picture of Dennis Camp, but he was behind a mask.
Readers who have followed Immortal Thor know that Ewing's work is preoccupied with ambitious questions. Immortal Thor especially has been a deconstruction of more than just how superhero stories work in general, but of how Thor stories work in particular. The "even an immortal can die" tagline suggests a further extension of that, indicating the story will explore what it means for superheroes to die when they can and are readily resurrected, and specifically what it means for a god in the Marvel Universe. And I quite frankly cannot imagine a story more out of place and out of time, Aaron Sparrow. People are done with deconstruction. Nobody gives a fuck about any of that stuff anymore. Nobody wants to see their heroes die anymore. They want aspirational heroes. They want real heroes. People are yearning. They want to see a return to real superheroes. And for some reason, Marvel are stuck in this fucking era of just destroying everything and taking massive dumps on top of it. People want to see their heroes be heroes again. This is so fucking out of alignment with their audience. It's not even funny.
That solicitation just bored the shit out of me.
Of course it did.
It's like, I'm so tired of everything that they said there. You hit the nail right on the head. It's like, I'm not interested in seeing these heroes deconstructed anymore. I'm not interested in any story that these writers have to tell with them. I'm not interested in the writers working out their personal problems or their, doing their therapy through these characters. I'm interested in reading stories of heroism about characters that are aspirational. You hit it right on the head. That's what I want as a reader. And it seems to me that that's what everybody wants, or at least the majority of the audience wants. We want to return to that because the sales just keep going lower and lower and lower. And this will get a momentary bump because they always trick the retailers, and the retailers always, to their detriment, go and I'm going to invest heavily in this and make sure I get all the variant covers. And they end up giving money to a company for product that they can't sell. And, maybe they move a few of the variant covers. Maybe they sell enough just to break even or to maybe squeeze out a little bit of profit. But they get stuck with a bunch of books on their shelf that they can't sell. They're never going to be able to sell because once the initial push is over, there's not going to be any interest in these stories. What story in the last 10 years has been a story that anybody's been super excited to go back to from the big two? Is there any? Three Jokers, maybe?
Yeah, that would be there. I would say Gore the God Butcher, but I don't think anybody wants to go back to that either. Maybe
Not really.
no.
I mean, they keep saying Null is a fan favorite character, but
I don't
you
believe that
couldn't,
part. But
you couldn't judge I mean, you certainly couldn't make that case based off of his action figure sales because everybody just wanted the Venom. Like,
apparently, you know what it is?
it was a
It's
2-pack of
Hush.
Venom. Mm-hmm.
Hush is the story they want to revisit. Of course, it's 20 years old or 15 years old.
But I don't want them to revisit Hush. Like when they said like Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee on Batman, I was like, cool, what story are they going to tell? And they were like, they're going to do a sequel to Hush. And I was like, I don't give a shit about Hush. Hush is not an interesting character. He never has been.
It's a really well illustrated comic book, though.
It is. It's a well illustrated comic, except for the Joker. I hate Jim Lee's Joker. I don't like the way he draws the Joker.
But I'd rather read Hush 2 every day of the week than read this stupid Death of Thor shit.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I know that, like, you know, oh, we're saying things are the worst thing ever. We're being negative. Oh, you know, like, I get it. But it is negative. It's like your whole sales pitch is you're going to kill Thor. Big deal. It's like saying your sales pitch is like we're going to reveal that Thor is gay. It's like, okay, it's been done a million times. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that you ruin a character.
Just as Marvel movie fans are about to meet the Silver Surfer for the first time in this summer's The Fantastic Four First Steps, Marvel's comic book fans are about to have a chance to read the character's final appearance in the newly announced series Death of Silver Surfer, written by Greg Pak. The 5-issue miniseries appears to be set in either the future or the current Marvel comic book universe, or an alternate Marvel comic book universe, given that the official description the first issue mentions the character returning to defend a war-ravaged Earth. How many times can they do this shit? The last time they had a Doctor Strange movie, they killed off Doctor Strange 3 months before the fucking movie came out. And I'm not reporting or believing that because there's a Doctor Strange movie, all of a sudden Doctor Strange is going to be the best-selling comic book in the world. But it would probably behoove you to actually have a fucking Doctor Strange book. It would probably be good if Silver Surfer wasn't fucking dead when he makes an appearance for the first time in the MCU. Why do they keep doing this over and over? I don't get it.
Because Marvel is run by idiots.
Well, that's the easy answer. That's got to be the right answer, though, right?
Yeah, because there's no fixing Marvel that doesn't involve a purge of editorial. You have to go in and you have to cut out the cancer. And the cancer is C.B. Cebulski, who's just there so that he can make enough money to decide what dim sum place he's going to after work. Tom Brevoort, who's just running out the clock on his career and his life. You know, people who just are not interested in their job anymore, but there's literally nothing else that they can do. They don't have a skill set to go anywhere else. They don't have a passion for anything else. They don't have a passion for this anymore, if they even had it to begin with. So they're just running out the clock. They're just there. They're punching their time card and waiting to see how long it lasts till the bottom drops out. And you're never going to have a successful company with those kinds of attitudes at the top. And the attitudes at the top permeate all the way through. You know, there's nobody there. Like, even when you get a guy who maybe is excited about what he's doing, like maybe David Pepose comes in and he does the Cable series and he's super excited about it and it translates to the page, because he certainly didn't seem excited about that Punisher book and it translated to the page. But like Space Ghost and Cable, like he's only going to go so far in that company because they're going to keep going like, well, Al Ewing's a superstar.
Are you ready to kill off Cable now that you got him over? Like, great.
Well, we got to wait till
exactly what I wanted to do.
Do another Deadpool movie, and Cable's going to be a big part of it, so we need you to kill him.
We've got Daredevil Born Again, and I do personally believe this is the most excited that Marvel fans have really been for anything, you know, when it comes to streaming or movies, probably since Spider-Man No Way Home. People seem to be genuinely excited about Daredevil Born Again on Disney Plus. It looks like it's a Netflix show. The tenor is right. Punisher's going to be in the fucking show. They've killed the fucking character off. He's dead. Or wait, no, he's in another dimension.
Yeah, they not only killed him, but they let Jason Aaron ruin him on the way out.
Yes. Like, what the fuck were you thinking? That was a marketable character that's got a cool design, cool logo, and that people are rightfully interested in. And there might be more interest in that character in the very near future. And they're completely unprepared for it because they've always got to do stupid shit like this and deconstruct a character.
Well, he's a character that always sells until you put like a Matthew Rosenberg or a Becky Cloonan on as writer. But when you have a writer that's got some grit, a writer that, you know, does some balls to the wall stuff, that has some intestinal fortitude, you know, to write a character like that and be uncompromising in the vision of the character, then he works and people respond to it. So
he needs
a guaranteed
to have
money
testosterone on the fucking page with Punisher. He doesn't work. Yeah.
And so you've got to have that. And when you do, the book sells. When you have characters that are driven by writers with testosterone, they work and they sell because that's what appeals to superhero fans, to fans of the comic book, medium, is high octane adventure style stories. I remember Kelly Sue Connick saying, like, well, I don't think that heroism is necessarily just related to men. No, but it is what men respond to. So whether you have a female character being the hero or a male character being the hero, men can get invested in it as long as the story is a heroic tale that they care about. And that's what
I'm with you, man. I'm willing to watch a TikTok video of a woman getting robbed and kicking a guy in the stones just as much as a dude knocking another dude out.
Yeah.
This shit's exciting.
But it's all part of this social engineering to make believe that we're all the same and that we all have the same taste and that there's really no difference between men and women and everything's interchangeable. And, we can capture, just as many women as we can men if we gear it more towards women. Because of this one study we saw that half of the comic book fans were women. Well, if half of the comic book fans were women, why did you need to cater and start changing things to try to cater to what you thought women want? If you believe that already 50% were there, congratulations, you won. You'd already won if you believed that. But
nobody believed that.
Nobody believed that. And so they thought, well, we need to change things. Okay, but much like Star Wars, by turning things into a girl's brand or trying to appeal to what you imagine women who don't care about comic books will like, to make them care about comic books, you alienated your male fan base. And that's part of the reason that the industry is in such a sad state.
Well, and also alienating by killing all these stupid characters off. Yeah. Why do you keep killing everybody off? Why should I invest in anything if you're just going to kill the character and bring them back 3 weeks later?
We know it doesn't matter.
Exactly. And they keep telling us that over and over again. And unfortunately for Marvel and DC, it feels like a lot of people listen to them. Like,
this is you've actually made me think of, the main problem with all of this is nothing matters. So death doesn't matter. Whatever the character story you're telling doesn't matter because it's going to fail in 10 issues because of, Dan Buckley arbitrarily said that we can't cancel anything until 10 issues. So now things at least last till 10 issues like NYX, which probably would, that as soon as they announced that, it was pre-canceled. You've created this perfect storm of people not caring about anything because nothing you do matters. You don't tell a single story that has any resonance or has any staying power, any permanence. So why are we invested in it? What used to make Marvel work, what used to make DC work, what got me into being a weekly comic book addict was the fact that these stories continued and they mattered. The things that happened to Peter Parker 3 years ago were still affecting him in the book I was reading month to month. Those things had weight, but nothing matters anymore because you're going to reboot it in 10 issues and it'll be a new creative team or it'll be the same creative team and you'll have some bold new direction that doesn't matter.
So there you go. If you're excited about the death of Thor or the death of Silver Surfer, I hate to break it to you, but they're just going to come back. It really is completely meaningless. And this is what Marvel has to do to generate headlines because they're not actually generating good stories these days. If you enjoyed this conversation and you want to hear a little bit about some of that Star Wars stuff, Aaron and I have another 2 hours to go on the Geek Fix. We actually had quite a philosophical discussion before this that you might want to check out if you're interested in the Geek Fix in full. You got to go to the Patreon. There's a link in the video description. You can go check it out there. The Sparrow's Never-Ending Christmas Tree tier, the Geek Fix podcast. You'll get much more than that as well. Hope to see you very, very soon.